I received an email from a fellow brother, and he wants my advice on how he should proceed in life, in search of himself, and in a way kind of adopt my mindset. I mean, that sounds kind of broad, but let's roll with that. And by the way, if anyone else has questions to me, you're welcome to just send them to my email or direct message on Instagram. I'll be sure to make a video response and maybe give a perspective to others in similar predicaments. So without further ado, let's dive into the email. I want to have the same mindset as you. What steps did you undertake to get to the point where you are at the moment? I'm adopted and I didn't have the mother love in my very early childhood. So it's difficult for me to connect with people. Nobody told I love you to me or hug me. My parents now, they think they are making me happy by giving gifts and money. So the thing with being adopted is that it becomes weird with other children who thinks that there's something special with you, that you haven't been dealt the same hand or treated in a different way that they are used to, which can put a lot of pressure on you because of the feedback that you get. Makes you feel strange about yourself. You look at the mirror and look at your parents. You see the distinct differences between you, and as time progresses you kind of start to believe things that people are talking about, especially if you feel that you lack nurture, motherly love as you put, and that atmosphere damages your self-esteem. You grow up being resentful towards things that you don't have even control over, maybe even hate your own skin if you're adopted by people of a different race, or even go on a search for your biological roots if you have been adopted to a different country. I have encountered similar incidents where children were adopted from South America to Europe, and as one of the boys grew older, he started to search for his own roots, namely being a Native American. He got deeply into the culture and music and started to compose those kind of melodies, and grew his hair very long. So obviously there's a huge internal clash going on, trying to understand who you are, your place in this world. And I wouldn't say that it's something negative. I would tell you to embrace that, because it's a pit stop on your path towards self-discovery, and everything that you experience is just a part of you, the moment being, but it's not a thing that defines you permanently. You are very welcome to change your personality as the time progresses. In a span of several years, maybe become someone else. People have this notion that personality should be static. If you are something in the beginning, that you should remain the same person until you die, which is preposterous and obviously not true, because by definition, personal growth means that your character has to evolve and become something else. Maybe not entirely, but with some different nuances. When you say that it's difficult for you to connect with others, it's because you are not whole yourself. You are in a constant search for yourself, and without knowing who you are, you don't know whom you should serve to other people, because whatever you do seems fake, seems not genuine. You are having this facade of a persona that you don't feel comfortable with, and it's understandable. As I said, you have to find yourself to feel that the person that you share with others is truly you. Think about it like trying to sell something that you don't believe in. A product, a service. Of course, people will recognize that deceit. You won't get any sales unless you're an impeccable actor. Further, you say here that your parents are trying to buy your love with gifts and money, which is very common procedure, common attitude when people feel guilty that they didn't really give the attention that the children deserve. They try to buy it to feel good about themselves. I mean, that's an understandable human trait, right? Even my mother, she tries to give me some warmth and love every now and then when I visit her by making some warm meal. Feeling in a way guilty because we don't see each other that often, she still has this motherly, protectionist mindset. But the difference is that in my case, I understand exactly what she does. And I'm okay with that. I know what she's thinking about and I know why she's doing that. I have accepted it and I don't react about it. I don't know your age, so it's hard for me to tell, but I presume you're a teenager or maybe in your early 20s. That can be very annoying when they don't understand you. They perceive you from a certain rigidity. You don't feel connected to them, which is okay. There's nothing to worry about. It's just you have to accept that people are different and there are some things that connect you, like family bonds. Even if you're adopted, you have been raised by them. But at the same time, you have to think for yourself that your path is unique just for you. It doesn't have to involve them. You see, in these societies, there's some kind of misconception of children always having this very tight connection to their parents. To be honest, I don't see it as something healthy, because people cannot cut the cord and try out their own wings without feeling guilty of abandoning in a way their own parents. So this becomes this toxic relationship from the both parties, where the child doesn't want to leave the parents because of the guilt, and where the parents don't want the child to leave them because they feel lonely and don't have a lot of friends and still have this controlling attitude towards their child. And this results in this hot mess where this young person cannot go his own way because he feels obliged by staying at the parents' side. Furthermore, you state here that you feel lonely, that you are searching for yourself, the ways to love yourself, which is understandable because you feel this void, this emptiness within yourself, and you want to fill it. The good thing here is that you seem to kind of understand that there's something that is missing within you, nothing that you can tap into by external means. Still, I would like to know your age because it's a very important detail. It depends where you're at in your life. And this sentence where you state that you want to understand yourself to become a better person, not just for yourself but for others, shows that you have good amount of self-awareness, which is the starting point of finding your core, your true self. Going on, you say here that I just have the feeling when I show my vulnerability, people will just leave or don't want to understand it. Yeah, I don't jive really well with this vulnerability thing because people misconstrued the definition of it. Doesn't mean that you have to show your weaknesses all the time to all people. Just wear your emotions on your sleeve, which is totally wrong, especially if you're a guy. Also, you have to understand that if you are stating that you are afraid for people to take advantage of your vulnerability or of your state and even don't understand it, that means that you are waiting for some kind of feedback from people whenever you feel that you are showing your vulnerability, which basically means that you are not doing it for yourself and you care too much what others think of you, which furthermore solidifies the notion of yourself not being whole and not really knowing what you are sharing with others, because there is no certain concept to share. To give you a better response to that, I would like you to maybe in this commentary section tell me what you mean by vulnerability, so I know in what way that potentially could damage your reputation. And it seems to me that you have this unhealthy attachment style where you become very anxious whenever people leave you. It's like there's an internal war going on between you being very special in your own way, which is a positive thing, and simultaneously wanting to share it with others but not knowing exactly what it is. And yet again, which is fine, you just have to make sure that you define that persona of yours first before you can share it with someone else. I still have some bad habits as being pushy, mainly that. What's your opinion on that? Any tips? And once again, you confirm that you are very sensitive about your own character, own persona. That's why you are being pushy, because you want people to like you, to love you, but at the same time you want to share your quirkiness with others without being judged. And that's a healthy attitude. As for your coaching sessions, it's a very good start. Coaches can show you the way, give you some tools to handle certain positions, certain situations, certain predicaments. But ultimately, you have to do the work yourself. No one can save you but your own self. I know people who have been going through therapies several years. In my own opinion, there's still a lot of work to do, but they don't recognize it. Sometimes it feels that they go to those sessions to mentally check off a box, like going to a gym once a month or maybe twice, just so they can tell to themselves that they're being healthy, which in reality is baloney. The only person they're deceiving is themselves. To sum up your email, I would say that you are on the fence. You're in the middle of two worlds, where the one world is the world of other people that you want to connect with and share part of yourself, and the other world is being able to find your true self, and you want to try to balance the both worlds where you can juggle in between them, try to alter between those personalities, which is quite honestly impossible. At least from what I'm reading here, it seems that you are struggling a lot. So I would suggest to take time for yourself, Do a lot of introspection, try to understand why you are doing things that you are doing, and read books. I could suggest you some books. It's better that you DM me on Instagram. I would like to ask you some questions before suggesting you. But it's not about reading and putting them aside. It's about implementing and living it out. As I said before, you have to be willing to put the work in. Ultimately, you will put all of these things behind you whenever you can forgive everyone, forgive yourself, and steer your ship towards the horizon where bigger and more interesting journeys are awaiting for you. So that's that. I hope it helps. And remember, it's not an overnight transformation. It takes time, a lot of time, several years. So you have to be patient with yourself. First and foremost, greatness is coming. Hossein, out.